Hey everyone, I have a pretty awesome video for you today. Today's review is on Khora, Rise of an Empire. So in Khora, you're the head of a blossoming city-state in ancient Greece. You could spend taxes, build commercial routes, or even start a war. Your city is on the rise, but what will you choose? Video. Why can't I get that? No. I'm gonna redo that. Before we start, my name is Krissy, and this is my channel 2Sheep1Wheat, where we play board games and I review them. If you have a board game in mind that you'd like to see a video on, like this video and comment what that game is down in the comments below. And then of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss the video if I do make it. So Khora is for 2 to 4 players, and it takes a little bit over an hour to play. Now you've got many decisions to make in this game. You're going to need to figure out the best strategy for your city, whether it be politics, development, or military. There's a lot more choices that you can choose, so let's go ahead and take a look at some more. So there's a bit on the table here. We're going to take a look at the player setup right here. So every person is going to get a board. You're going to pick which color you want to be, and then you're going to be randomly choosing these city tiles here, and they just simply go right in this spot right here. So this one is Argos and this one is Athens. So we have a blue player and we have orange, all with the corresponding colored markers, achievement tokens, dice, each color of action tiles, and each player gets 4 coins. Now, along with the player setup, you also get politics cards. Now, there is a drafting for this game. So you choose one and you pass it to the next player, but you will both end up, if in a 2-player game, but everybody will end up with 5 cards in their hand. Now, to play one of these cards, you will use an action, and we'll get to those a little bit later on in the game. Now, these markers here, the higher you go up on the economy track, the higher you'll go up on the citizen track, and then the higher you go up on the culture track, the higher you'll go up on the tax track right here, and then with military you'll gain glory. Now I'll get to everything after, but that is an action on how to go up. So this would be the progress action right here, and you'll go up on this track. So I'll touch a little bit more on this once we get to the action phase. So that is the setup for that. Then we can move on to the main board. So this is the central board. So all of these tokens right here, these are knowledge tokens. And to collect knowledge tokens, you're going to be using your action tiles here, which we'll go through a little bit more once we get to the action phases. We have these 4 tracks right here. So citizen, tax, glory, and troops. I'll go through these and what their benefits are a little bit later on in the video, so make sure to stay around for that because those are pretty important and some of them will give you points at the end of the game. Then of course we have our victory token up there that's going to be keeping track all around the board. Now if you do get past the whole thing, which is 90 points, you'll be able to keep track of it if you have to go around for a second time. Then we have our event cards right here. So there are 14 of these cards. You're going to take out the conquest of the Persians right here, and you're also going to be taking out growing population. Now because those growing population goes on top and this one will go on the bottom. So the rest of the cards get shuffled and you draw 7 cards. So there are 9 rounds for the whole game. So once the last card has been flipped, that is an indication that that is the last round. So get everything done that you need to get done. The coins and the philosophy tokens get placed around the board so that each player can reach them. And then any of the extra achievement tokens also get placed there because there is an action that will allow you to take some of those versus taking them and using your military to take them off of the board. So in Khora, you're just going to be picking someone random for the first player. However, after you've rolled your dice, the person who has the least total on their dice is going to be the first player for the rest of the turn. So let's go ahead and look at the board at all the different actions that you can take. So this game, I guess technically you could say it doesn't have player aid cards, but there is a player aid that is directly onto your player board. So you can follow along and they're all clearly marked with what they are. So for the first action that you're going to be doing It is an event announcement. So that is just going to be flipping the card here and revealing what it is. So in this game, the events don't get dealt with until the end of the round, so you'll have the full round to try to avoid the penalty that comes with some of these cards. So that was the event announcement. Then we go on to B, which is taxes. Now, nobody really starts with any extra taxes here, unless one of these cards down here, you always start at the first one here, and there's usually a benefit here. Starts the game with 3 philosophy tokens. And this one gains 2 on the military track. Now, I'm sure one of them, we haven't played with all of these, so I'm sure one of them will have a starting location for taxes. So if you were up here, then you would just simply collect the number that is right here beside it. Then we would move on to dice. So you get to roll both of your dice. And whatever the number is going to correspond with what you choose from your action tiles here. So they are 0 to 6. So let's go ahead and stick these in order a little bit better. There we go. So philosophy is simply gaining a philosophy token. So whenever you choose whichever action card, oh my gosh. So whichever action card you choose to collect, you're going to flip them over upside down and place your dice on top. Until all of the players have chosen and placed theirs upside down, then everybody reveals them all at the same time. Now the number on the dice should correspond with the number on the action tiles. Now if you're selecting, let's go with 2 and you're placing a 1 die on top of the 2, you're technically out 1. You're missing 1. So you can actually use your citizen track right here and just simply go down 1 so that you'll be able to basically pay the cost of the action tile. So that was philosophy tile, the action tile. Then we'll go to legislation. Now legislation is gaining 3 on the citizen track. That was way more than 3. Then you'll draw the top 2 cards from the politics deck. You'll choose one to add to your hand, and then you'll place the other one at the bottom of the deck. So then we go on to culture, number 2. So you're going to be gaining victory points based on the level of your culture track here. So if we're at number 1 on this first level here, then you're only going to be gaining 1 victory points on the track. If we were up here, we would gain 5. So that was culture. Then we go on to trade. So this one will allow you to gain 1 coin more than your economy level. So if we're sitting at a 1 right here, we're going to gain 2 coins. And then if you wanted to, you could purchase one of these extra achievement tokens here that I was talking about at the beginning for 5 coins. Now that is a choice, so if you choose not to do it, don't worry. So that was trade, and then we go on to military. Military is gaining the troops equal to your military track. So here we would only gain 1, so we would go up 1. Then we would be able to explore one of these actions up here. So if we have 1 troop, there isn't enough up here for us to actually do anything. So you would need, we'll just do this one here because I'm closest to it. So you would need 9 troops and 8 of them would die. So at the top here, you need 2 troops, 1 would die. That one you would need 3, none would die. So the further on that you get below here, there's extra bonuses here that you can take along with the token. So once you collect one of those tokens, it's going next to your board and it's going to stay with you until the end of the game because you need some of those. Those are requirements for some of the cards that you're able to play. And then speaking of cards, that is the politics action right here. So you get to play 1 politic card from your hand. Now we'll just quickly take a look at some of those cards here. So this is an infinity. This goes on throughout the whole game, but it will require this red one here and a green one. But it will allow you to gain 4 victory points if you don't move up on any track during the progress phase. So both of these would be continuous throughout the game. This one would be for an end game scoring. You would gain victory points equal to your citizen level, which is this track right here. And then we'll see what our partner over here has, see if there's any different ones. Yes, so this one is an instant action. This one has a cost at the top left corner, along with you would need 2 of these green tokens right here. So you'd be able to move up 1 level on the culture track here for free. So that is playing a politics card. And then we go to the last action that we can take, and it is development. Now this one will allow you to unlock the next development in your city tile, which is also requiring a cost. So if you have 2 of these blue tokens right here, you would be able to go up as long as you play this development action. This one you would gain 2 troops, or 3 coins, or 4 victory points, or 5 citizens. And these ones here are all fast actions that would happen one time only. Whereas on this one, on this city tile, the first one is the only fast action. The rest are continuous if you are on that level. And then the last one would be an end game score. So at the end of the game, gain 3 victory points for each card that you have in play. So once you're playing a card, it is going to stay down in front of you so that if you do have a end game scoring of the cards that you have played, then it's easy to note because they're all right down in front of you. So those would be all of the actions that you can take in your turn, and that would be in section D here. So once everybody has completed their action phase, then we go on to the progress phase. Now this one is what I was talking about earlier on this track right here. So you get to choose one track that you want to increase in, and you will have to pay the cost that is inside. So it's always good to have money after you've done your phase. So make sure not to spend them all on cards if that is one of the actions that you're choosing to do during your round. So you would be able to increase it by 1, and then if you pass by any of these extra bonuses here, that is when you will take them. Then we go into the event resolution. So we're going to resolve the event card that was earlier announced. So during the dice phase this round, each player who rolls a combined total of 4 or less gains 1 philosophy token. Now I rolled a 3, so I would be able to take one from the supply and use that. Now philosophy tokens, if you look down here, they have multiple different ways that you can use them, and they're all listed here. So C, D, and E, you'd be able to do it once you place your die, because you'd be able to use a philosophy token in exchange to move up 3 on the citizen track here, which would essentially be able to help you with your action tiles, because then you'd be able to potentially get a higher action card if you only had a lower number die. And then in D, while you're using it for your actions, you could exchange 2 philosophy tokens in exchange for 1 achievement token over here. And then E, when you're in your progress here, you could pay 1 philosophy token to go up in another track, also paying its cost. But instead of only going up in 1 track, then with this, you'll be allowed to go up in 2 tracks. Then we would move on to the achievement phase. So if you get to number 4 here in your economy, if you get to 12 on the citizen track, if you get to 6 on the troop track, if you have placed 3 of your politic cards, or have gotten to 10 on the victory point track, then you can use some of your achievement tokens here. So as soon as you have reached that in any time, you're going to place them on the board right here. Now it is possible in the same round that somebody else could place theirs on top in the same round, but once the achievement has been taken, then the next round nobody else will be able to take it. Now if 2 people have achieved it in the same round, then you'll both go up on the tax track here. But if you were the only one to accomplish it in the round, then you have the choice between glory or taxes. Now at the end of the 9 rounds, you're going to be calculating all of your victory points based off of the cards that you have played for the politics cards, from any of your unlocked developments here, and from any of the multipliers. Now multipliers is if you have your glory up any of this track here, and you have any of these tokens here that you have collected because you have used the military to collect them. Now that is multiplying your tokens by the level on the glory. So it would be 4 times the 4 tokens. So that would be 16 points for these 4 tokens here. So that is how the multiplier works for that one. So you would add up all of those points and you would add them to your victory track. So the person who is the highest on the track is the winner of Khora. So that was an overview of Khora. I really think that this game is awesome. I wasn't too sure about the theme, but after playing it a couple of times, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this theme and the whole building up of your military and your citizens, and everything kind of flowed really well together. And I think the thing that I like the most about this game are the player boards, because they are dual layer, and the way that these city tiles just go in there right like that. And you have a whole bunch of different ones here that you're able to choose from, and it's all random, or you know, you could just pick whichever one you want to, but they all have different benefits on here, and all of them have a little bit of a backstory for the city that it is, which I thought was really neat for that too. And some of them you can collect victory points for at the end, and some of them are just fast actions that you can collect right then and there as soon as you move up on the track. So I thought that was cool, and just the way that these lay in here and the way that it's double punched within a double layered board, it's just really neat how that all really works. And then of course the player aid right here that is directly onto the board, which is really neat. You don't have to take up more room on the table with cards. It's just right there on the board for you, and it's easy to access at all times. And then the quality of the components too, like everything is wooden pieces, except of course these, and I understand that because there's a lot more of these ones. So, and then the dice too, all of the different colors are just really nice. I like how the money is owls, which is really cool. I think metal coins for this game would be really cool. Not even sure if they make them, but that would be super cool. It's probably something that I'm going to look at now that I say it out loud. I'm going to look at it after I'm done recording this video. The way that you are selecting the actions for this game, I think is really neat. How you're rolling your dice, and the sum of each die is technically the highest that you can pick for the actions, since they're all numbered 1 to 6. But then you also have the ability to use your citizens to potentially pick a higher one that you need. So there's a lot of thinking involved with this game. There's a lot of deciding which way your city is going to go, because honestly there's 6 different routes that you can possibly go. I think the military track would probably get you a lot more points at the end of the game for the multiplier scoring. I've never went the military route. Nick is the one who goes the military route. I usually just go playing cards and trying to collect as much endgame bonuses on those cards, which tends to be a little bit more in my favor that way. I really wasn't sure how much I was going to like this game, but I end up always winning. And I feel like I say that a lot when I do my reviews, but my playthroughs don't show it. So maybe we'll have to do a playthrough of this game and see if I win on camera. Wouldn't take too long for a video either. This is a decently length game. You know exactly how many rounds are happening, which is 9. You can see the rounds going because the cards are being discarded, so you know exactly even when the last round is, because it's always the specific card that you're going to get. And then with those cards, it's nice that it gives you the whole round to try to get away from the penalty. So most of the time, the ones that we've found anyway, the ones that pop up mostly whenever we're playing, are the troop ones. So whoever is highest in the troop track right here tends to get a benefit, and then the person who is lower on the track gets a penalty. The penalty isn't usually that much. I've seen discarding cards. I've seen having to go down on the troops track, which I don't tend to do that. The military way isn't really the type of game that I play, so it doesn't really matter to me that much. But I do enjoy that it gives you the whole round to try to get the benefit if that's the way that you want to do it, if it's something that would benefit your game. And then each faction is different, like I was talking about earlier too with all of these. I think the artwork on these ones are pretty cool too. And I like that the cost of anything, like the cards that you're going to be playing, if you're going to try to move up on this track, then you're using the achievement tokens that you collect from here, or if you pay for them based on the trade action, I think it was. Culture. Yeah, the trade action here that you can buy one for $5. So I really enjoy that. And that you don't discard them after you've used them. I really enjoy that they stick around and you can continuously, so that you work your way up a track. And then there are some cards too that get to be a lot. I don't have any in my hand here, but there are, here, let's go through the deck here. So there are some that even cost-wise, some of them cost a lot of money, and then some of these are just straight up victory points too. Where are they? The artwork is really cool in this one too. 3 of these ones. So some of them do get costly. The artwork, really nice. And all different benefits that you're getting down at the bottom. Moving up the tractor in progress phase will always be free for you. That's a nice card to have. Haven't gotten that one before. That one come in handy. So again, lots of them. And then fast actions, ones that continuously happen every single round. So getting these ones out is pretty nice, but then also getting some of these so that you can do the end game bonuses as well. Oh, this one's good too. Getting 4 troops out right away. As soon as you play that, like this one costs $6, but it takes 1 of each type. Yeah, so a lot of them cost more. And then, like I was saying, once you get to the top here, these ones probably usually cost a little bit more because these are end game scores, when these ones are just fast actions. So this one you'd be able to take 3 culture actions, which isn't bad either. So a lot of different ones. And then here, we can go through some of these ones too. Again, they brought the artwork into these event cards, and like I was saying here, so the player with the highest troop level gains 4 victory points. Oh, but this one here, whoever has the lowest loses 4 victory points. So that might be one to try to move up and use your military action. See, this one, all players lose too. We've had this one come up quite a bit, but like I said, I'm not too into the military one. All players lose 2 citizens. The player with the highest draws 2 cards. The player with the lowest military loses 2 cards. That one's pretty good. Supplies. Yeah, all players gain 3 coins, which is nice. It's a nice length game too, so that you don't over dominate on these tracks either. It's a very minimal going up. I think my highest glory was probably 2 or 3. This one you don't really go up that much, or at least I haven't gotten any of the factions that would allow me to go up in the glory track, but I did get some for troops. If that's what I'm dealt with, then obviously I'm going to use it and try to win, which I did. Because I'm the only one who's ever won this game. So if you're looking for a playthrough of this game, also let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to get that one out for you guys too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this overview and review on Khora. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.